Today's patio chat is being brought to you locally by Westridge Furniture in Delphus. See it all at your finer outdoor furniture store.
Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Bill Angel's back with us from OSU Lima. We were talking before we came on about what's the Democrats' plan in 2 years. Is it Joe Biden? And then, I think a lot of people want a youth movement. Is that the plan, you think?
Well, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When Biden won the Super Tuesday primaries, he saw himself as a bridge to the future, which implied one term, and then he's gone. But he seems to now he's saying he wants to stay on and serve a second term. And there's a lot of angst in the Democratic Party right now about whether or not that's such a good idea.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, if the plan is for someone else, which it doesn't seem to be, or a youth movement, no names are really coming forward. They're not really pushing anybody, right?
The best name you have is Gavin Newsom, governor of California, who was recalled and beat back the recall attempt. He's like their best bet. He's probably going to win in this fall when he runs for the election. But beyond that, you got people like Gretchen Whitmer, Philip Murray. These are not Murphy from New Jersey, Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. These are not exactly household names. So there really isn't a bevy. And Kamala Harris is tied to Biden, and plus
you don't see much of her, really.
And her poll numbers are actually worse than Biden's right now. So
yeah,
it's kind of grim.
Gavin Newsom's an interesting name because I heard a psychologist on one of the talk shows the other day saying there is a lot to be said for a person who looks presidential, and he might fit the bill for that, right?
Yeah, and of course he did survive that recall attempt, and has been very, very good on a lot of issues that Democrats care about, including most recently the gun control debate.
Yeah. Anybody else that you think, we think of Cory Booker, names like that, maybe a little younger, anything, other ones that pop out that maybe they're not promoting?
I would not know right now.
Yeah.
There's a possibility somebody may come out of the Super Tuesday, or come out of the fall elections, but if elections, these midterm elections are, as predicted, going to be a Democratic catastrophe, I'm not sure who that would be.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch the stories today that NBC and CBS and the rest are running about poll numbers, and you get this undercurrent that Biden is telling his people, we need to have a more positive, uplifting message, that there is a plan, that we're doing this. I think he's starting to feel the pressure, right?
Yeah, and of course, the one thing that Biden has done well, is get America back into the alliance with NATO and push back against the Ukrainian situation. He's done a very good job in mobilizing the allies behind that issue, but Americans don't really care about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real problem right now.
Right. They care more, as you said, about filling up their tank and buying bread and milk and that kind of thing.
Important stuff, to be sure. But with the rising gas prices and rising prices generally, inflation in other words, it's going to be a tough summer and a tough fall for the Democrats.
Conversely, on the Republican side, we're all pretty positive that Trump's going to run, but the Republicans, as you mentioned, do have a backup plan, and it's kind of funny to see Republicans not sure who to support yet, or kind of being quiet about that.
Well, the results of the election last Tuesday, with Trump's nominee losing in Georgia and in the Secretary of State's race in Georgia, showed that he's may not have as much pull as they think, and so you may see more, maybe not moderate Republicans, but certainly somebody other than Rick DeSantis trying to move into testing the waters, as it were.
Yeah.
Right now, DeSantis is the only one who says he's going to run.
Yeah. Pence, you think he'll be that name?
Yeah, Pence has started to make some moves too. His name surfaced. In fact, he started to basically think about moving in that direction, and he may be seen as a candidate that some Republicans could hang their hat on if it's not going to be Trump and it's not going to be DeSantis.
If it's Pence and Trump in a debate, I would watch that one. I would think that would be very interesting. All right. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Medical news coming up next on Noon Edition.